Hi, everybody. Welcome to 10 p.m. with Galinsky. Great show planned tonight. A couple of quick things before I bring in my guest, Wally Green. Got some cool people already showing up in the chat. Been getting emails based on my opening speech or ideas around Black Lives Matter and people helping out. I've been getting really nice messages from people, and I'm not going to go into too much other than it's working. A couple people have said, look, I'm listening a lot more. I'm listening to even Reverend Al Sharpton with open ears and eyes. Wonderful. By the way, Reverend Al Sharpton, the National Action Network, has a list of protests if you want to go. And the good thing about those protests is they have agreement with police departments. So they're all organized and you won't find yourself in the thrush of madness if you go to the National Action Network. Another friend emailed and said that they've done some research in their neighborhood in New Hampshire, in their community, and they found some small businesses that were hurting and didn't get stimulus money, so they're introducing themselves to them. So it's working. We're changing the world. It's good. It's always possible. Speaking of changing the world, Nuchas Empanadas. Oh, look at that. It disappeared this time. Nuchas Empanadas, nuchas.com. They're supporting the show. Please, 10% of their sales go to people in need from the pandemic. All right, I'm going to keep it quick. VIP Talent Connect, thank you for supporting us. Actortrade.com, thank you for supporting us. I'm going to bring in my guest who grew up in the Marlboro Projects in Brooklyn, escaped drug wars and gang-related activities. I'm going to bring him in and let him tell you his journey from there to around the world. Welcome, Wally Green. Hey, Wally.
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. Good to see you. Great to see you. We're going to have a great show. I'm already looking at the chat and it's blowing up already. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs. And by the way, folks, Wally is a friend and has been watching the show maybe, I don't know, for a while now. So he knows the format. I don't know.
Yeah.
Turko Ono's with us. Kambiz Shekhdar is with us. Great scientist, Kambiz. J.O. Sanders, the great actor who actually kicked off this entire show. He's the first episode. Go back and watch.
Wow.
Charisse is with us. Amy Alt, Heather Prescott, Michael Swiskay, my brother Andrew Galinsky's in the house. Amy Alt, I said her name already. Elizabeth Harder, Scott Irwin, Katha Cato, who is going to be on the show this Monday. Rio Shibutani Balaster is with us. Do you recognize that name? I see your head nodding. No? Jamie Leo's with us. Jack Fuller on the West Coast. Callie Greenberg. Wayne Simmons. Welcome, Wayne. Good to hear from you. Good to see you, brother. All right. Let's start with something that I've found super intriguing about you and your work as an athlete, aka entertainer. So I always like to start off with something on the high note. So tell us a little bit about what inspires all these cool looks you got, man.
Oh man. So this particular haircut is actually very recent. That was last summer. And another sport that I play pro besides ping pong is paddle tennis, which is AKA pop tennis. And that's actually the U.S. Pop Tennis Association's logo on my head for the U.S. Open. Got it. And I did that as a surprise.
You do that a lot. You change it up a lot.
Yeah.
Is paddle tennis like go ahead. What is it?
So paddle tennis is a smaller tennis court. It's not pickleball. It's with a tennis ball, a special paddle. It's a sport that's a lot faster than tennis, actually. It's an extremely fast sport, played at the net. It's a crazy sport. And it's actually my first racket sport. So I went back to it.
And we actually painted a paddle tennis court in our driveway when I was a kid.
Wow. And
I don't know if you've ever done this, but we were idiots. We dunked tennis balls in gasoline, lit them on fire, and played
oh, man.
Tennis balls.
That's intense.
I grew up with five brothers, so we had to do something crazy, right? From time to time.
Yeah.
Here's another cut.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 10-year anniversary?
Yeah. That's the 10-year anniversary for our club. And I was like, you know what? definitely got to put the 10 years in back of my head.
It's nice.
And that's where that came from.
And that's Spin on 23rd Street.
Yeah.
This is I just love the shot, man. Your energy and your style. You're always so buoyant. Are you ever sad? I've never seen you not smile.
Nah, I'm not sad.
Here we go, more style.
Do you want to know how the haircut started?
Yeah, please.
So we had just opened up Spin. This is about maybe 10 years ago, and Susan Sarandon is also one of the co-founders, and she has this crazy hairstylist. And one day I was talking with the hairstylist. I was like, you know what? I want to do something with my hair. Like I think I should dye it or something like that. And the guy goes, well, you know, you should dye it orange like a ping pong ball. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, that's crazy. And so then he goes to me. He goes, oh, I'm gay and I'm more man than you. And I was like, what? All right, I'm gonna dye it orange. So I went and I dyed my hair orange, and it was horrible. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? So then I remembered when I was younger, when we used to go to the barbershop, we used to get all these designs in our heads. So I searched for a barber who did designs, found one, made her put, I said, you know what? I want you to design my whole head. Put anything you want, just design the whole head so this orange doesn't look crazy. And then that's how it all started.
That's great. This photo is with Susan, and you can barely make it out, but there's the orange hair with some...
Orange hair, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember how we met, you and I? You don't remember, do you?
No. I was trying to figure out the other day. I was like, man, I couldn't remember. I remember us meeting up randomly at a place where they were playing music. I don't remember exactly where that place was. It might have been Tompkins Square Park, maybe.
Yep.
And I remember we met randomly there, but I don't remember where we first met.
There's the photo to refresh your memory. That's you and me. We co-emceed the Stephen Baldwin breast cancer benefit at Spin.
Oh my God, man.
10 years.
Oh shit. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm in all white, looking like a nut, and that's Joe DiMaggio Jr. He was there. Jeff Wincott was there. There's Stephen.
Yo, that's nuts. Yo, I didn't remember this.
He wasn't he wasn't very good. Here we are. That's you and me on the mic, baby.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I didn't even remember that.
So ping pong is kind of, by the way, #gay challenge from now on, #gay challenge. Ping pong is known as the most common way out of the projects, right? Most people who grew up in the projects are dying to play ping pong to live the dream.
Yeah, right. You're right. Oh, no.
But for real, how did you discover it? And tell us why, because you've said this many times, that it saved your life.
Yeah. Growing up, I grew up in Brooklyn in a projects called Marlboro Projects, which is between Coney Island and Bensonhurst. And I was in a gang at an early age. I don't know, probably at like 11, I already started like doing crazy stuff. By 13, I already owned 6 guns at 13. So I was a really crazy kid, just going the wrong way. But I did have one thing going for me. I loved sports. I always loved sports. I was on every sport team in high school. Hated ping pong though. They used to have ping pong in my lunchroom in my high school. I went to Lafayette High School. And I used to make fun of these kids. I used to terrorize them. I was a big bully. I terrorized these kids. So I hope none of these kids are watching this now. But yeah, so I played sports all the time. I'll skip a lot of story. I got into shooting pool. Had stolen this pool stick. And because it was an expensive one, I thought I was good. And I got hustled for some money, got angry, banged the pool stick on the table, shattered the pool stick, saw some Asian kids playing ping pong. They had a ping pong tables inside the pool hall. And I went up to them and I said, hey, I want to get a hit. But it wasn't even like I wanted to get a hit. It was more of me being angry and being a bully.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. So they gave me the rack out of anger. I hit the ball, went on the table. And then they were like, oh, do you play ping pong? I was like, no, I don't play this. It's like, there's this club on 11th and 50th Street. 11th Avenue and 50th Street. You can go check it out. And I was like, are you kidding me? There's actually a club for this? Like, are you serious? But out of curiosity, I went anyway.
How old were you? How old were you?
I think at the time I was about, I want to say 18, between 17 and 18.
Uh-huh.
And so I go down, I check it out. Nobody would play with me. Everybody was like not nice. Nobody would play with me. And then I'm the kind of person like you know, I'm gangbanging. Like who are these dudes to disrespect me? Like you should play with me. Only, you know, you don't know who I am. So that was my mentality. And if you're not gonna play with me, I'm gonna come in all the time and somebody's gonna play with me. And so, you know, I would go. Eventually some old dude played with me. And then after like, I would say like a month or two, this Israeli guy comes up to me and I was just sitting down and he goes, "Hey, do you have a partner?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a partner." He was like, "Well, if you can play with me 3 times a week, I'll pay you $20. And I was like, "Whoa, $20? You know, for me back then, that was a hustle. You know, like I said, I was broke. I'm from the projects. I don't got any money. You know, $20, like, whoa, man, that's a hustle. So I was like, yeah, for sure. I'm not that good though. And he was like, don't worry about it, because I could hit, and I was an athlete. So every sport I could pick up, and I could I can get by on the basics.
Yeah.
So I would play with this guy, and then we would talk a lot. And I was always very open about the way I was. You know, he said, "Who's your family?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, I don't like being home." You know, because I also grew up with extreme domestic violence. So I was like, I don't like being home. My gang is my family. Like that's who I respect. And so, you know, we talk about stuff. And for him, it was more like a TV show, because if you don't know anybody who's lived in that life, it's a TV show for you,
yeah,
right? It's something that you see on TV. So he wasn't taking me seriously, right? So one day I went to the club to play, and a gun fell out of my bag on the ground, and he looked at it, I looked at it, and I was like, oh shit. And in my mind, the first thing I thought was like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose my $20. That's the only thing I thought about, was my $20 hustle. I'm gonna lose this hustle right now. And so I picked it up and was like, yo, I gotta go. Because at that point, he had this look on his face, and I don't know if he's gonna call police. You know, I don't know what's in his head, and I don't wanna find out. So I leave, and I'm thinking, damn, man, I just lost that $20. That's $60 a week. And he actually called me back. He called me like 2 days later. He goes, "Hey, are we still playing tomorrow?" And I was like, yeah, okay. And so, you know, I go, you know, and he invites me. He has this house near Hunter Mountain, and he invites me to his house. And I'm like, why is this guy inviting me? He just saw that I had a gun. He heard the crazy stuff that I'm into, yet he invites me to his house near Hunter Mountain with his family, right? And then literally, and he's like, yeah, you know, you should come up here and play with them or whatever. And I think maybe at the time, he was trying to give me a sense of family. I guess that's what that was about. And then eventually he told me, say, hey, listen, I see you're interested in ping pong, so I want to pay for you to go to Germany to learn ping pong. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, really, I'm going to pay everything for you to go to Germany to learn ping pong. And that was the start of the change of my life.
Was it in Germany where you felt your attitude changed? Like, wait, there's a different value?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to Hanover. Hanover was the first place I went. And I lived in a school with a bunch of athletes. And this is what they do. They play their sport, study a little bit, but these are the super athletes of their region or city or whatever. And I noticed, like, everybody was so nice to me, but I was an angry kid. I was a really angry kid. I didn't like anyone.
Yeah, I'm wondering why didn't you bring the hustle there? Why didn't you go?
Yeah.
There?
So
you know.
Yeah. So everybody was like so nice to me, and I was an angry kid, and you know, they have a saying. It's called killing you with kindness. That's a real thing. I mean, that is so real. I can't begin to tell you, because I'm the type of dude, like, when I was a kid, I just punch you in the face, I stab you in the neck. Like, I didn't care. And everyone's like, hey, how's America? Wow, you're from New York City. Oh my God, the place is good. You know, and blah, blah, blah. And it kept going. And there was no fuel for the fire or the race that I wanted to give. And so for a month, I was really confused. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, everybody's being nice to me. And every time I tried to be angry, they'll be like, oh, come on, man, it's okay. And wow. And yeah. And then eventually after that, I was like, I started to look back and say, why are you angry again? What are you angry for? You're not where you were. You're in a totally different place. And then I started to process. It took a month for me to actually process what I was there to do and why I was there.
All right, we're gonna look at the not angry you again. Entertaining some kids here. I never show video. This is the first time I'm showing video.
Oh God, yeah.
This is you crazy. Entertaining some kids. And for everybody watching, it gets good. Here we go.
Like way off the stage.
That's incredible, man. You jumped off the stage. That's incredible. Now, Jack Fuller is in the chat. Jack's a tennis pro.
Hey, Jack.
Where was that? What group of kids was that? Do you remember?
That was in Virginia Beach. It's a school in Virginia Beach, and I was doing a charity called Ping Pong for Poverty, and they held a assembly for me to come and talk to the kids and play in front of them.
That's a whole nother part of your motif, your career, your persona is doing these charity events.
Yeah.
What's that feel like for you after being, like you said, being a gangbanger as a kid?
For me, I really like it a lot. And I really didn't realize how much I liked it and how much it was something I really wanted to do, because when I was younger, I was never a person that wanted to talk in front of people. I never wanted to help people's problems. I didn't care. But we recently, had made this documentary film that won a lot of awards, and National Geographic picked it up. And from that documentary, I traveled all over the country to film festivals. And eventually, the year later, after we won awards, film festivals started having me come and talk to schools and kids about gun violence and motivation stuff. And then I started to realize, like, wow, man, this is something that I'm really interested in, because, to see how interested these kids were and the questions that they would ask, and knowing that, I can tell them something that in the future would help them. Like it was such a great feeling, because it was something I didn't have as a kid.
Yes.
So it was a really good feeling.
So these are some of the many festivals you guys were involved in and had awards in. Monday, were you in the Queens World Film Festival by any chance?
No, not yet.
Monday, Kathy Cato and Don Preston are going to be on the show, and they're the directors of the Queens World
Film
Festival. So we'll connect you.
We're going to North Korean documentary. That's the one for the Queens World.
Oh, great. Couple shout outs in the chat. Jeffrey Nunez, good to see you, brother. Patricia Whitcos, who's going to she's a personal trainer. You should probably meet her. You guys have to talk about. She'll be on the show soon. John Harris is with us. Josh's brother. Who's Josh Harris? It's John Harris. Winnie Maria, great singer, actress. Scooter Milvey. So back to Jack Fuller, and Michael Swiskey is with us. Jack is a tennis pro, retired tennis pro, lives out on the West Coast. He wrote, just curious, in tennis, technique is critical. Footwork can to some degree make up for poor technique. Ping pong, smaller court, how important is footwork?
It's extremely important. And the reason why is because the distance that you have to travel is so short and the ball is so quick that if your footwork is not correct, you actually have no chance to play this sport. Like you can't even get by. Like you footwork is a must. And that's something that we practice over and over and over.
All right, let's go back for a second. And this just blows my mind. It's worth watching again. Like, tell us, like, what about the footwork of
yeah.
So you do a lot of that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So that footwork is important for the main reason I don't want to fall off that stage and break my neck.
Exactly. And I've seen you kick people's butts with a cell phone.
Yeah.
A lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the cell phone thing is my hustle. It's, you know, when we first opened up our club, we would get a lot of hedge fund guys to come in. And if you know about hedge fund guys are real cocky,
Sure.
especially the big ones. So they would come in thinking that they could play. And I'd be like, hey, you want to play a match? And they'd be like, are you good? I'd be like, yeah, I'll play with my cell phone. They'd be like, what? You can't beat me with your cell phone. Nah, it's crazy. And I'd be like, $100. And they'd be like, you're joking, right? And I'd be like, no, it's dead serious. And I would play them, and they would lose so much money. And the thing about them is they just keep playing because they have the money to lose. So they keep playing with the hopes that they're going to win. And even if they don't win, it becomes a funny thing. So what they started doing, they would go back and tell their friends, yo, you got to come play this guy for $100. And in the beginning, I just kept playing people with the cell phone.
I remember at that benefit, you were hustling with that cell phone as
well.
Yeah. Keith Davis just joined us. Alyssa just joined us. Captain Seaman's here. Welcome, Cappy. Austin Gary's with us. Natalie Abruzzo. Long time, Natalie. Good to see you. Andrew Einhorn, the Andrew Einhorn, has a question. Love ping pong. I'm quite good. Around age 15, I pulled off the felt of my paddle, and now I can only play with hardwood.
Okay.
I love the sound and I like the power. What does that say about me? Why do some players like a thicker pad and some thinner or none?
Well, playing with the wood is actually illegal.
Illegal. Yeah.
It's illegal. Yeah. It has to be both sides rubber or pimpled rubber. But there are competitions where they play with sort of kind of a wood thing called hard bat, and that's pretty fun.
So so what it does say about you, Andrew, is you like to do things that are illegal. Okay. Cindy Hernandez just joined us. Turco Ono's got a question. Any ping pong related injuries, carpal tunnel, hip issues, etc.?
Oh man, you can get a lot of injuries. I mean, I have a hip replacement actually, which I had done 2 years ago at HSS. I mean, I have problems in my wrist. I've had golfer's elbow. I've had tennis elbow. I've had rotator cuff injury. Some small problems with my back. Yeah, you can get a lot of injuries because the repetition is so quick and it's a lot of repetition. So yeah.
So that also makes me wonder, stamina. Is there an issue with stamina? Tell us, because it looks like, you know, come on. I mean, you don't have to be in great shape, but tell us.
Yeah, well, that's totally the opposite. Actually, you have to be in incredible shape. And the reason why you have to be in incredible shape, because so let's take a sport like tennis, right? Tennis is a big court, right? So if tennis is a big court and tennis players can cover that big court, they should be able to cover a ping pong court, right? Because ping pong court is 1/10 of the size of a tennis court. But they can't cover the ping pong court. You know why? Because different muscles, right? And ping pong is explosive sport with no rest. Whereas tennis is explosive, rest, hit, run, rest, hit, run. So when we do our drills in ping pong, right, they're all explosive drills and they're like 7 minutes. So picture just moving your whole body, 1, 2, 3, moving 4, 7 minutes. It's really not easy. I've had like pro tennis players come to my club because they always come in US Open, and I like to mess with them because they don't really know ping pong, but I know tennis because I've played tennis. And I say, hey, I bet you can't do this drill for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. They're like, it's easy. And then they find out, oh my God, this is hard.
John Harris has a question. I grew up poor in California. In our apartment building, there was a ping pong table. I became obsessed with playing. I also had some childhood anger issues. I became unbeatable playing ping pong. Won the USA versus the world tournament. When I would lose when I started out, I'd get so mad I'd crush the table with my paddle. Question, how many paddles have you broken out of anger?
Oh my God, man. In the beginning, when I first started, I broke a lot. I want to say, oh man, in a month, maybe 4, maybe 1, because I was always an athlete and I was always strong, but I would lose to guys who were like twice my age. And I was like, this is crazy. There's no way this old guy can beat me. And that's because I didn't understand the sport well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went through a lot of paddles when I first started.
Someone else just mentioned played in a basement with family. Yeah, I did that too. Elizabeth Harder wanted to know what other sports that you want to play or be really good at. I would make an adjustment, say which ones have you played and are good at, because you mentioned that.
To be honest, I'm not being cocky. I'm good at any sport I play. If it's a sport, I pick it up really quick. Like a few months ago, they asked me to do a ping pong exhibition at a pro squash tournament, right? And so I do it every year. I go down to the racket club in Brooklyn, and it's called Eastern Racket Club. And I went and did this exhibition. And then after, the #1 college girl was there, and I was like, hey, come on, let's play a little bit. And she was like, all right, have you played before? I said, I never played, right? So I said, just show me how you hold it, because it's very different than the way you hold a tennis racket and she showed it to me, and I played, and I was hitting, and she couldn't believe it. She was like, you played before? I was like, no, I never played. I know angles from shooting pool, and I'm just good at sports. Gotcha. Sports is easy for me.
We're going to jump to a couple more pictures here real quick, because there's some interesting shots and also some story to go along with it, obviously. Again, here we go with some more dynamic artistic psychedelic. There's orange again. There's the, you can see that cell phone. You can see the cell phone.
Hey, and you know what? That picture, that phone is not even an iPhone.
Oh, I know. That looked like one of the small.
Yeah.
I've seen you kick it on a flip phone from the old days. Naked.
Oh yeah. Naked ping pong.
Is that just an idea, or is that?
No. That's how we started Spin. That was the party that we used to have in a loft apartment, and that's how we met Susan Sarandon, and that's how Spin started from our naked ping pong party.
What happened with Susan? She just got intrigued by the sport, or was she always into it, or?
When we first met her whole point of coming there was to have the other 3 guys edit her birthday film for Tim Robbins. So that was the original way we met her, because one of the partners, his friend, is Susan's assistant, and she needed something really quick, and these 3 guys were filmmakers, and that's how we met her. Because I remember the first time I saw her, I walked in, I was like, wait, I know you from somewhere. And it wasn't until later that I was like, oh my God, it was Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
real quick, we're running toward 10:30. Turco Ono wants to know, you any good at golf?
Oh, I got a good golf story. Oh my God, I got a great good golf story. So one of I want to say my mentors, he died a little while ago. He's a heavy golf player, really heavy golf player. So we make fun of each other, and he was like, yeah, I know you black guys can't play golf. Don't think you can play because of Tiger Woods. And I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. She's like, all right, I'll bring you to the golf course. I went to the golf course. First, we started with, just taking shots out, and that took a little while. But then once I got that, I almost got a hole-in-one in a par 3, first time ever playing golf. I hit the pole. It hit the pole. And I was like, I never need to play this sport again. I don't have to play it again.
Oh, you don't have to. That's it.
No. But what was really difficult for me, though, like I noticed putting the ball where it needed to be, that was easy in terms of flight. But putting was impossible. Like it was horrible.
Interesting.
And that's probably why I never picked up golf, because it was so difficult.
Well, it's let's see. It's, by the way, this is my Brooklyn backdrop in honor of you.
I like it.
From New York from Manhattan to Brooklyn. A couple of shout outs here. Nancy Lynch Hutchings just joined us. My cousin Zulima is with us. Good to see you, Zulima. It's 10:30, which means our show is over, because this is a half-hour show, unless you're willing to do some overtime. Are you?
Hell yeah, we can do overtime till tomorrow morning, man.
All right. The way we started off is we got to play a game called 5 Objects. I got all this stuff in my house. I'm locked in, and I'm realizing, what? Why do I have that? So I pulled 5 objects out. I just want you to respond quickly to each object, whatever your gut is. So the first one is a rusty old wrench.
Oh my God. Wow. Hold on. I actually got it. When you showed that, I just got like a little, like, I don't know what they call it, but a flashback back. So, wow. All right, hold on, I gotta take a deep breath for this one because that just brought back some shit in my head.
I did not know I would trigger you.
Yeah. When I was 12, I had joined DCEPS, and then to be a part of DCEPS, I had to hit someone in the head with a hammer and say Decepticons transform. So that just reminded me of that.
It's a gang?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Second item, something you probably wear. A real cool man.
That's the hat that I've never worn that I always wanted to wear, but just didn't know how to wear it.
I know these are hot, right? These are great.
Yeah.
All right. Third item, a funnel.
Funnel. Oh my God.
Go on.
When I used to make edibles, that's how I would get my butter through there. I put the napkin in there, squeeze the butter, funnel it out.
Hey, this is one of the best 5 objects so far. All right. A pink headband.
Oh, headband.
A pink headband.
Actually, a pink headband. Oh, the pink headband reminds me of all the corporate events that we have at Spin. And when all these corporations come, everyone comes with their usually pink or yellow headbands and their short shorts to make it fun.
This, by the way, is the one that I actually wore 10 years ago.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the cancer.
Oh my God, that's so
Here's
funny.
the last one. 5th item. I am your father.
Oh. So that kind of reminds me of just the especially the part where you say I am your father. It reminds me of my dad who passed away when I was really young. And he was like the most closest person to me. Yeah.
Got you. So let's take a look at, you took a trip to a place on this globe where not many people go.
Yeah.
And that is North Korea.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a couple look at a couple pictures, but tell us what prompted that trip to North Korea. What was that like?
So every year I try to do something big or try to do something to make a difference. And I saw there was a tournament in North Korea, and Dennis Rodman had just came back from that tournament. And I guess he was there to try to make a difference, but I wanted to make a difference too, because, you know, for North Korea, Westerners are the devil and we're bad and this and that. And I thought, you know what? In 1971, America established relations with China through ping pong, and it's called the Pong Diplomacy. Hence, you have the story Forrest Gump. So I wanted to recreate my own historical moment and go to North Korea and try to make a difference and just show people that, hey, you know, we both play the same sport. Politics doesn't play anything in what we do. We're all human and we're all one. And that was the reason I went to North Korea.
Was your being a person of color an interesting aspect of the trip as well? Did you notice there any kind of interesting cultural behaviors because of that?
That happens to me all over the world. Doesn't matter which country I go to. It's always like that, because there's not a lot of Black table tennis players that look like me that play around the world. So people, they just get intrigued because they figure, wait a minute, this guy's in the wrong sport.
Yeah, right, exactly. The stereotype doesn't fit.
Oh, you see that guy right there?
Yeah.
So that guy, so what happened was I was the only Westerner in this tournament because nobody in the world wanted to go. I've asked every person I know that plays for their country in the world to go with me to North Korea, and everyone declined. They were like, you're crazy. I'm not going there. It's too dangerous, whatever. So I said, no problem. I'll go myself. So because I went by myself, I didn't have a practice partner to warm up. So the association allowed me to practice with one of the team members, and that was him. And when he first saw me, as you can see, his face is really tight. and he's real serious. When he first saw me, he was probably wondering, like, what is that? Like, it hit, the look on his face was crazy, man.
Amazing. We got some questions in the chat here. Winnie Maria said, I played it in high school, but we called it table tennis, which makes me wonder, what's the etiquette on ping pong or table tennis and the name?
That's a great question. So I actually wrote a whole article about this. So what happens is a lot of the pro table tennis players, they like to call it table tennis, right? And the reason why they like to call it table tennis is because they say, oh, table tennis is the pro sport, ping pong is what you do in the basement, right? But the way I always look at things at both sides. I can look at things as a table tennis player, and I can look at things as someone who never played sport in my life, right? For me, ping pong is a much nicer word. It's a much softer word. It's a friendlier word. You know, it's called the ping pong diplomacy. And then my second argument to that, the best people in the world by far are who? The Chinese. The Chinese have never, ever, ever used the word table tennis. They say ping pong.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
35 international tours.
Yeah.
Right? How many years have you been a pro?
3, maybe 3. And then I stopped because of my hip. I was actually supposed to play this winter that passed. But instead, when I got healed up, I went back to paddle tennis.
Gotcha. Dip the ball in gasoline.
And hit it?
You're outside. Just remember.
I got to try that.
You got only if you're outside. And you know, you got to keep a rally going because that thing ain't going out. It doesn't go out until it burns all the hair, all the cloth off the ball.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
I don't know. It's something that youngsters do, but I don't know if it's something that you should do as an adult. What's the typical length of a ping pong game, if there is such a thing, a typical length?
Man. It depends on the two players and the level.
Okay.
Like in Pro Tour, it will be 4 out of 7 games to 11 points.
And how long is that? Is that a half hour, 20 minutes, 45?
It can be an hour.
What's the longest you've ever played? Like when you get in those, have you ever gotten more like?
Actually, the longest I ever played are the matches that I play against my good friend from Money. We played one where we played 5 out of 9. 5 out of 9 games takes about almost 3.5 hours straight, nonstop. Yeah.
I hope you won.
Yeah, I did.
Jack Fuller's got another question. Do you have different paddles for different conditions, i.e. humidity, temperature, indoor, outdoor, against a particular kind of player, strength, weakness?
So there's never outdoor. It's always indoor. And everyone kind of uses whatever paddle they've been using. You never change the paddle unless it's the same paddle that you're changing. You just adjust to what someone else is using. So that's why if you ever watch a professional ping pong match, in the beginning, you'll see that they'll both change rackets and they'll look at each other's racket to see what surface is on it. So that way they know how to adjust their game to what they're doing. Does
the referee get involved as well?
Oh yeah. There's so you know how there's anti-doping for sports? There's sort of anti-doping for your racket. I'm not joking. Your racket, so this is what happens. Before your match, 30 minutes before the match, you have to submit your racket to the umpires where they're going to test the racket. And what they're testing the racket for is they're testing the racket for illegal glues or what's the word? I can't remember the word, but illegal glues. And what the glues do, they have some chemical in it that make the sponge expand. If the sponge expands, that means the catapult off the ball will be a lot quicker and a lot faster. So your racket gets tested actually before the match.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just like a boxer gets their hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anthony Randall is going to be a guest next week on the show, by the way. He wants to know, is it true that table tennis / ping pong, the game is the best game for our brains?
Yeah, I think by far. It's it's actually even proven that it's really good for people with Alzheimer's, right? A year and a half ago, I was supposed to be on the Dr. Oz show about this, but I was out of the country, and it was talking about how good ping pong is for Alzheimer's. Eye-hand coordination, keeping your eye on the ball, using your hand to follow that ball and hit it. Yeah, it's really, really good. One of the best sports for that.
Incredible. Elizabeth Harder wants to know, okay, and I'm going to add this. So you're so good at sports, she wants to know, are you good at volleyball?
Oh, my God. I played junior Olympic volleyball. I got a great volleyball story. Quick volleyball story.
Yeah.
So I got into volleyball. The reason I got into volleyball in high school, I started in high school. And the reason I got into volleyball in high school was because I was taking a break from basketball. I walked by the basketball gym. I looked in, and there was some hot girls playing this sport. I didn't even know what that sport. I just saw them. I was like, oh, my God, those girls are hot. Wherever they are, I got to be there. So I walked in. I asked, I said, it's volleyball. And I was like, oh, man, I'm interested. So I actually tried out. I learned how to play. I was MVP 3 years in a row in volleyball. I was a hitter. And I was really cocky. Like I said, in high school, I was a bad kid. And we were going to the national championships. And I was having issues with my coach. And my coach said, listen, if you don't listen to me, if you don't see what I'm saying, I'm going to bench you. And I was like, you're crazy. There's no way you're benching me. That's what I told him. It's impossible. I was the best player on the team. You're not benching me. And you know what he did? Bench me. Yeah, and we lost, and everybody hated me. That's my volleyball story.
There's your humble moment.
Yeah.
I want to queue up another video. This is in North Korea.
Oh, yeah.
So let's take a look at just a little sample of this in North Korea.
Yeah, it's my North Korean counterpart.
Is this practice or?
No, this is the match right now.
Wow.
And this is before my hip was fixed.
And Turko Ono wants to know, did the hair have any effect on your the way people accepted you there? Crazy Westerner with crazy hair.
Exactly. No, that's exactly what they think. That's my trick funny serve that people always miss.
Yeah, let's see that again.
Watch. It's a funny thing I do, just to screw people, and they always miss it.
We're gonna study this so we don't miss it. Do you watch tapes of other opponents? Do you look at tapes to see their style and stuff like that, or do you just?
Yeah. Sometimes I do sometimes.
And do you find that the hairstyle? I mean, again, the fact that you're black and you're playing a sport that not a lot of black people are in, that's got to be intimidating on a certain level. But do you find that the hair and the hip colors and the style that you walk in, the swagger, does that work like Mike Tyson's little pregame head games with people?
Yeah, I mean, when they first see me, they're like, is this guy serious? I'm telling you. It's like, is this guy serious? But then when they see me play, they're like, oh, but then you know what? The thing that's good, it enhances my play.
How so?
You understand? So even because when people see me, they think, oh, he's not supposed to be able to play this game, right? So I don't need to play their level to be good. I can play just under their level. And then they're like, oh, shit, this guy's really good, right? Because I don't look the part.
Yeah.
But if I came looking the part and I played, then they might say, oh, man, this guy's not that good.
Yep, I get you. Yeah, excellent. All right, we're going to go into chat for a couple seconds here. Glenna Munding DeLone, good to see you, Glenna. Jody Katz is here. Jody Katz is on a past episode. She's a brilliant singer. Check her out. Jack Fuller says, Wally, you have such a beautiful and fun energy in these times. How can we stay positive and look for the good in the challenges in front of us? And I can't help but ask, how can we whites show our love and compassion for our amazing black friends and all other blacks who are the salt of the earth as much as anyone else?
I think that it's, man, that's a deep question.
Yeah, it is. Jack's a deep guy.
I
I appreciate that, Jack.
Me personally, like, I mean, it was a white person that saved my life, right? If it wasn't for that dude, I would be in jail for life or dead for sure. That's who all my friends are. So, I mean, just, helping, like, if you see some people who are having a hard time, I mean, just helping, even talking. I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to answer. That's a very deep question.
I appreciate your struggle with it. I think it's but what it is comes down to is just basic human decency with one another.
Yeah.
And stretching yourself to be that much more open with people. Yeah.
Right.
Leo Fernikis has just joined us. Hakeem Green. Hakeem, good to see you, bro. James Turco Ono wants to know, do you ever go Johnny McEnroe on an umpire?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Listen, so oh, man, that's so funny. So one particular tournament I was playing in, I think it was China. It was in China. And I'm playing a match against Chinese. Chinese are the best in the world. I'm by far the underdog. So anyway, I serve an ace. Literally, if you watch the video, it's an ace. They give the point. Not only did they give the point to him, that was game point. So I'm like, what are you doing? Even the Chinese guy was looking like, and he was like, no, the service is, I said, no, what are you talking about? And he was like, no, I said it hit the table, right? And the guy was like, no. And I was like, yo, you're fucking crazy. I hit the ball up in the air. I was angry, right? After that, we play another point, a point in which they gave me. And I said, no, it was actually a let because he had put his hand up and the umpire didn't see it. And so the umpire gave the point, right? And flipped the point like this. I went over because we usually have two. We have a scorekeeper and an umpire. So I went to the scorekeeper and I moved, her hand was on top. I moved the hand off and I flipped it back like this. And everybody started clapping in the crowd. I said, this is the score. This is the way it stays.
Nice.
But yeah, man, the umpires, oh man.
So,
umpires are crazy.
Your transition from gangbanger, potential big time gangbanger and whatnot, and that whole lifestyle, your transition, I've seen this in human beings because I go to Rikers, and I work there five days, whatever, a couple days a week, 5 years now. And I've seen the fact that humans just have good hearts. It's what's around us that helps shape who we are, right?
Right.
And when you went to Germany and you said you were in a pocket of happiness and love for a month, and it's mind-blowing. I just got to say, it's incredible. It's amazing. It's astounding to hear your transition from where you were to where you are. And at the same time, it's absolutely normal and possible for anyone to do that.
Yeah.
So when are you going to go back to gangbanging?
Never. I kind of ghosted that life, actually. Like a lot. One of the biggest questions I get, like when I travel and talk about, gun violence and stuff like that, one of the questions that people ask me, they always say, how easy was it, or how did you feel after leaving the gang? And that's pretty much the hardest thing that I deal with all the time, because most of the people who were in it got in it because I pushed them to be in it. And then I had to, and in order for me to move on to the next chapter of my life, I had to ghost everyone. And that's kind of messed up if you think about it, because of me, they're there. And then I had to just like leave everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and they're almost like family too, right? As much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Jeffrey Nunez says, such a cool dude, great interview. Elizabeth Harder and Callie Greenberg are challenging each other to play now. Ready to go?
I'm the umpire.
They're like, once you're the umpire, once the quarantine's over.
I'm ready. I'll set it up.
Okay, cool. Andrew Einhorn, the Andrew Einhorn says, has Wally played against women? And if so, do they have any advantages over men, or are they more difficult to play against in any way?
Yeah, the only time you'll play against women is if you play tournaments in America. Outside in the world is men against men and women against women. But women play a totally different game than men do. Women are really fast. they're way faster than men. They're so much, they're like 3 times faster than men. So if I have to play against a woman who's like really good, what I do is I stand far away from the table. Close to the table, I have no chance because she's too quick. I just stand far from the table and then play a lot of heavy spin, which they're not used to because they're used to playing speed.
Amazing. You think it has to do with muscle and the structure?
Yeah, I think so too, because men are more powerful, so we stand further away from the table and we have the power to put heavy spin and speed, whereas women stay closer to the table and they use more reaction. It's really amazing to watch women play. It's insane. It's crazy.
You know, in boxing, they don't want you to bulk up either. They don't want you to have a lot of
Right.
muscle, right? You got to be flexible. So like that,
Right.
they have something to do with it. All right, let me ask this. This is a really serious question. I know we've had a few serious questions. We're on a Zoom call, and are you wearing pants?
Am I wearing pants? So you know what? Listen. So you always ask this question, right?
Yeah.
And everyone is always wearing pants, right?
Yeah.
So here you go, man.
No way. Yeah, he did it. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Amazing.
Can you see it?
I see it. Looks great. You're incredible.
I did that for you because everyone's always wearing pants.
Imagine if I had forgotten to ask that question. You'd be like,
yeah, I know, right?
You'd be like, I gotta do something. I'll be right back, and then turn around. Amazing. Are you binge watching anything right now, or do you have a suggestion of something that people should be watching?
Let me see. I watch a lot of Netflix. I've watched Good Girls, the both series. What else? What else have I watched? That's. I think everybody knows Breaking Bad. I mean,
Yeah.
just the normal stuff.
What's the name of the documentary? Tell us the documentary you're involved in, the short.
Oh yeah, the documentary we made is called The Tables, right? And it's directed by a great guy called John Bunning, and it's a really good documentary, short, 15 minutes, and it's about how something so simple as 2 ping pong tables that I actually put in Bryant Park 10 years ago changed people's lives and brought an amazing community of people together.
Have you seen the ping pong tables that are occasionally in Tompkins Square Park too?
Yes, actually years ago. They've been there for a while.
Now,
I think they're Stonehenge, right? They're stone tables.
Yes, now they have stone tables, yeah.
So the guy who put those tables there, I know the owner of that company. It's called Stonehenge.
Gotcha. All right, audience, it's time for you to throw your thanks and your kudos out for our guest tonight. While you're loading those up in the chat, because we're in like a little delay, I'll go to another question from Turco Ono. Do you have any sponsors? And how does that? I'm asking, how does that work if you do?
So usually, what I do in the beginning of like Pro Tour season, I put together a sponsorship package, and and the sponsors range from like my equipment sponsor to my financial sponsor and stuff like that. Yeah.
And what about when you're in tournaments? Is the money good? Is the prize money decent?
Yeah, the prize money is really good, but you won't get it because the Chinese are taking it. You don't get it. So that's why I had to figure out, because when I was playing this sport, I had to figure out, okay, what's my niche in this sport? I mean, these guys are so good. I can't beat these guys. And then I figured it out. I was like, you know what? I don't need to be the best player in the world. I need to be the coolest player. And then that's what I ran with.
And that's your marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kylie Greenberg wants to know, what's next for Wally Green?
Well, now I'm currently working on my documentary about North Korea, and it's called My North Korean Ping Pong Diplomacy. So I have a ton of footage from North Korea, and I'm editing and working on it little by little. So that's my next big project that I hope to finish.
Do you have any idea when Spin is going to reopen?
Yeah, well, we're thinking September 1st.
Well, you know what? Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, because it's a phase 4.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, how long is a ping pong table? That's more than 6 feet.
Yeah, it is. Technically, yeah.
So we got that covered.
Yep.
So some shout outs. Callie Greenberg says, thanks for the laughs, Wally. Jack Fuller says, Wally, just saying, from white to black, I'm loving you, buddy, for tonight. And
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And all you are to all of us here in Robert's house tonight.
Thank you.
Cindy Hernandez says, wow, amazing. I think that was when you turned around and showed us your logo. Turco Ono says, great job, Wally. Stay real. So I'm looking at another chat room that doesn't have a name, so I can't tell you who said this, but I love the interview. Great personality. Amazing how that paid training has transformed your life. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Cynthia Granados Posada just joined us. Tammy T is with us. Hi, Tammy. Michael Swiskay says, Wally, great to experience you with Galinsky. Thank you. Amy Alt says, I wish I had athletic talent. You're super lucky.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Harder says, you're so funny. Bill Neems, Captain Seaman says, so lively, a much needed release. I agree. I was looking forward to this all week because I know your energy, and I was like, man, this is going to be exactly what it should be. By the way, it was Stax Cordero who said, great personality, amazing that the training.
Thank you very much.
Andrew Einhorn says, your doc sounds great. Kim Jong-un could use some exercise, so go back and teach. Amy Alt ask him if he saw the Kehinde Wiley sculpture when he was in Times Square, and what did he think?
The sculpture?
Kehinde?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I know Kehinde Wiley. He's actually one of my favorite artists.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's a really dope artist. But I didn't see the sculpture, but he's a really amazing artist.
All right, last question. What's our call to action?
Man,
Wally?
I think the call to action in these time of days is accountability, man. People need to hold other people and themselves accountable for things that they do. I think that's the most important message in all of this stuff that's going on. People can say, it's racism or not racism, but accountability is accountability. It doesn't matter what your race is. And I think that's what needs to be the focus, is accountability.
Brother, thank you, man. What a great time. Perfect.
Thank you, man.
Great way.
Had a wonderful time. And thank everybody for showing up. It was super fun.
Right on. All right. Keep smiling. Love you, bro.
Yeah, man. Later.